we're going to be talking about rest is not falling behind, right? So I really want to take consideration because many people feel guilty when they rest because they believe that they should always be doing more, right? So when it comes to our society, and in the world as well, we celebrate constant productivity. Like I said, rest can make us feel like we're falling behind or even like, we're not moving forward, right? So I really want to take consideration because rest is very important. We need to slow down. We need to rest. Our body needs it, right? You know what I mean? So if we're not doing that, we're going to feel inadequate, you know what I mean? And things start to go downhill than actual progressing, right? So I want us to be able to normalize this experience because you're not the only one that's going through this, right? So many people feel anxious when they're not being productive, right? Even let's be real too, like some of our family members, right, may have bred us in this light to be able to be productive. They're comparing us to other siblings, comparing us to other, family members or people out there in the world, right? And this causes us to be in a mental, spiral, right, of just rumination, not feeling good, not feeling adequate, right, because we're not meeting up to someone's expectations, right? So even I want us to really get real with it. Really want us to develop that context, right? So draw your connections if possible. If you need to pause, do your thing, right? But social media often creates this illusion that everybody, is constantly succeeding. Everybody's constantly, improving. We're constantly scrolling, right? And we keep seeing, like everybody's out here winning. Like, what's going on? And we just feel, like I said, we feel inadequate, right? So it's common to, like I said, compare yourself. You're not the only one, right? But you gotta be able to take consideration that you're just seeing someone's highlight in regards to a reel. This isn't real life, right? So you don't know really what someone else got going on behind the scenes, right? No one knows that you're working on your personal development, right? You don't always have to, announce your, what you got going on. But I really want us to take in consideration because, like I said, you can't define someone based on, a moment, right? So like I said, let's work on ourselves. Let's worry about what we got on our plate, and let's understand that we need our rest, and we also got to understand and make the connections about what's going on around us, right? So in regards to psychoeducation, let's tie into, like I said, rest is biologically and psychologically necessary, right? If you don't need it, you ain't gonna feel adequate to be able to, like I said, do the things that you need to do, right? So you need to be able to sleep. You need to be able to, don't get it twisted. You need to be able to eat right. You need to be able to make sure you're drinking that water, right? Your body, right, needs to be able to optimize at a certain level, and it needs these things to be able to perform, right? So I really want us to understand that you're not gonna be able to have the motivation. You're not gonna be able to want to do the things that you want to do. You're not gonna want to be able to feel like you care, right? If you're not giving yourself the rest that you need, right? You got to make sure that you're carrying yourself as a priority because without you, what can we do, right? So we got to understand that you play a significant role, right? And you can also, I want to put this into consideration. I had a conversation about this the other day, right? So a lot of us out here, our self-esteem is not adequate because we're seeking validation. Number one, I want to put that on the board, right? But on top of that too is that, we don't realize that we play a vital role into the jobs that we do, right? So